Alright, thank you for joining me back here at Air Guns and Air Power. I guess we should be Air Guns and Katanas, but we'll think about the name change later. What's happened, ladies and gentlemen? Today we want to talk about katanas again. And we are going to get out here and I'm going to do a cut for y'all, but right now, you guys like my homemade stand? It's kind of ugly. I made it like out of picket fence boards, which is really hard to cut and form and shape that stuff, but yeah, it's I just homemade it because I had that wood and I figured why not, instead of going and buying, take the katana out of it, instead of going and spending money on one, I just make me one. It don't do nothing but hold the sword anyway. Anyway, I've noticed that since my last few videos, some of you have gone out and already purchased a katana, or you've thought about it, or you want to. And before I go out here and cut, I just want to talk to you for a minute about some things before you go out here and buy you one. The thing is, what do you want out of the sword? Do you want it to just sit here in a nice display and for a conversation piece when your company comes over? Let me get to where I'm in frame over it. Do you want it for a conversation piece? Your friends come over, y'all pull it out, look at it. You know, they might touch all over the blade and you just don't clean it and you put it back up with fingerprints on it, maybe clean it later. Do you actually want to use the sword as in, like I'm doing, going out in your backyard and cutting stuff? Do you want a sword for, like, you might actually be in martial arts, going to a school, and you are practicing and doing drills and training with katanas? What are you looking for? What is your purpose for buying one? So let's go over some things before you make decisions on what you want to buy. First off, if you want one just to display, and you're not too worried about it and doing anything with it, but having it hanging there or just sitting there, people coming over, messing with it, getting fingerprints off, whatever like that, you can buy basically whatever you want to. Whatever you prefer. Doesn't matter. But if you do buy a carbon fiber blade, not carbon fiber, carbon, like a 1045, 1060 carbon, 1080, 1095, like that, you're going to have to clean the fingerprints and you're going to have to clean it off every time you handle it, because those blades will rust. Your fingerprints and foreign materials will rust on them. If you get a stainless steel blade, that's fine for just having it setting up for display. This one, last time I cut water bottles with it, I did clean it and oil it. But like I said, it does have a patina on it that kind of helps protect it. But stainless steel blades are really good for display and hanging. Stainless steel blades are not for actual use because they will break easier and bend a lot easier. Stainless steel blades are not made for use. Now if you want one for going out and cutting in your backyard and practicing your cuts and your techniques, I personally would go for at least 1060 or higher, 1080, 1095 carbon blade. That if the camera gets knocked over, it's because of my cat. I shut her in here. I asked her if she wanted out. She meowed, so I left her in here. But anyway, back to what I'm saying. 1045 might be okay for some light cutting. I wouldn't recommend it, but there's some 1045 blades out there that will cut very good. But like I said, 1060 or up, very good for cutting. And you want to make sure that you buy a sword that has a full tang, which is the sword actually goes all the way down and is in the handle. Because they do sell some fake swords out there that are carbon blades, but they're cheap and they cut them. The blades stop at the handle and then threaded rods are welded to the handle, and the handles are put on with a bolt on the end. Those are not made to make contact with stuff. Those are wall hangers as well. I've had a few of those back in my day. Now, some of the sites I do recommend: Cult of Athena. I think it's Swords of Northshire. There's another one, I can't remember the name. If you want to see other reviews and the guys that take, and a guy that takes these out and does a lot of abuse to these swords until they break, he actually abuses the crap out of them, is Matthew Jensen, I believe his name is. He's a real good sword reviewer. Go check him out if you want to. But yeah, if you're into martial arts and you're already doing these and you want a sword for take it to your school and practice them with, and you probably already know what you need. You don't want a sharp sword. I personally wouldn't want a sword at all. I would want a boken, which is a wooden practice sword, because even if you get hit with a piece of steel, it's going to hurt. A wooden one's going to hurt too, but steel is still liable to, even though it's not sharp, liable to cut you open or do a lot more damage. Anyway, yeah, that's basically what you're going to be looking for. Now, there's different price ranges, different aesthetics that are on the thing, like the Samigaya, which is this ray skin. Some of them sell a little cheaper if they have fake ray skin in there, but it don't hold the Ito very tight on it. I mean, that all depends on what you want. Some Itos are made with the Ito is the wrap. Some wraps are made with this one's cotton. Some of them are made with satin cloth. I prefer the cotton myself, because some satins are a little slippery unless you get really good quality. But yeah, basically that's it. You want a good carbon blade. You don't necessarily have to go out here and get a folded blade or a tomahawk blade, which is what they how they actually used to make the samurai swords back in the 17th, 18th centuries. They would melt sand ore down into clumps for maybe days in these big furnaces, and then the bottom of them would liquefy and come out, and they'd pull it out, and it'd be a big clumps of carbon, and they would start from there out of scratch and make these. But we have such good steels nowadays compared to what they had then. You don't necessarily have to do that. You'll pay a lot of money for tomahawk blades just because of the process they have to go through to actually make those. You'll pay up to $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000. Some of the historical blades, you can pay up to tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars if you want an actual authentic antique sword. But the steel they have now are perfectly fine. They're much better than the qualities they had back then. That's why they had to go through all those processes. So you'll be fine with just the lower pricer ones that are actual carbon. You don't necessarily have to have folded blades. And yeah, a little history I want to give you I thought was pretty cool. Back in like the 17th, possibly the early 1800s, they used to take their samurai swords, or smiths made, and they would stack their dead bodies of their prisoners up. I don't know if they had some kind of rack or something they stacked them in. I'm sure they did, keep them still. But then they would test their blades on cutting through those bodies, and however many bodies it stopped on, they marked it underneath the handle on that tang. One body, two body, however many bodies that sword cut through. There's a sword out there with 5 bodies on it. It's rumored there's one out there that has 7 bodies stamped on it. I don't know how big that guy was that was swinging that sword, but that's a lot of bodies to cut through. Anyway, let's get out here and let's do some more cutting with this 1060 Kill Bill. This one is actually made by Ronin Katanas. It's a really nice sword. I really like it. It's been doing very great. I want to actually get some more. We will get back to some air gunning. It's just been extremely hot out there, and the grass hadn't been cut over here lately, and mosquitoes are really bad. I'm just trying to let it cool off a little bit, and I'm still trying to figure out what we're doing here at this property. It has been foreclosed on from my landlord, so I haven't got a notice from the bank yet or company to let us know what's going on. I'm waiting on that. Let me quit running my mouth. Let's get on out here and do some cutting. Okay, here we are. I have 6 Sprite cans. These are not full of Sprite. They are full of water. I filled them up with water so they stay still a little bit better. This sideways cut, it's going to be a whole lot more difficult than the actual 45-degree angle cut that I was doing in the last video, because of if your blade is not perfectly straight and you have it angled up or down, it's not going to get through all these. So I'm not expecting to do very well with this one, but you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That time the blade took a little bit of blade took some scratches on it really good that time on both sides of it. There's 2. I went really high. It hit the thickest part of the can actually. So we got 3 tops off of them. We took the 4th top almost all the way off. We hit the 5th can and dented it, and it just I guess smashed into the 6th can. So still seems pretty sturdy, pretty straight. But like I said, it has that scratching on it now. The blade still feels like it's pretty sharp. Just a little scratched up there. But yeah, let me see if I can get you guys on a camera view here. I know I've done showed it to you already. The blade didn't roll or chip or anything, it's just scratched up a little pretty good. So that's what it might have did better if I would have hit the cans in the center, but I was scared I was going to be down too low and hit this deck or angle down into the deck. That I didn't want to do. Okay guys, we're ending the video here. I'm out guys.